I think we're live. Here we go.
Boom, we're live. I'm Steve Metrics with you, boy.
DJ Triggs.
And together we are No Debate Sports right at the end of June, creeping into July. And it seems like some NBA stuff is starting to make the news. How about that, DJ Triggs?
Man, there's so much NBA news, obviously, because, free agency just started like an hour ago.
Yep,
I don't know, give or take. Like, there's
right.
people everywhere. There's people getting moved, bodies getting thrown left and right. And then there's confusion. Like, LeBron James? I don't know what's going on with that one. LeBron's like opting in, but is he opting out of the Lakers?
Yeah, like
And I know you had something on this, so this might be your fault.
this is absolutely my fault, 100%. That's no debate. Um,
Hmm.
I don't. I mean, again, for me, like this lingo when it comes to wheeling and dealing players and money when it comes to NBA terms, I'm not as good with it as I am with NFL lingo with money in terms. Stuff with like aprons and opting in, opting out, max contract signing. It's a lot of weird stuff. I'll tell you that. I mean, they get it to work. They have their own methods of how that economy works for the NBA. But it is kind of weird. That's why when I saw this opting in, I'm like, there's no way LeBron thinks that the Lakers can win a championship. There is not. Him and Luca, it's not going to happen. And I know of another player who seems to be on the way to play center, kind of fill that Anthony Davis void. And I like the player. I like the name if we want to talk about it. But I just don't see that bloodthirsty kind of build. And JJ Redick's doing a nice job with his team, to be honest. I thought it was really going to kind of go up in flames. But to do what he did with bringing the Lakers into the playoffs last season, having kind of a good season between Davis and then the Luca era post trade, JJ Redick did a pretty solid job. I got to give him props for that. But the team, I mean, you can tell like it's kind of Rick Carlisle style, where like JJ Redick is kind of making this team work, but it's not really a team that can just get it done. And to be honest, probably Rick Carlisle's got a better team with the Pacers than Redick does with the Lakers at this point. I just don't. It just isn't reminding me of the Lakers team that was very well built that won that championship in the bubble. To me, this is a Lakers team that's kind of good, going to kind of compete, but to me, it's clear as day. I've pointed out, I love it. I think LeBron belongs on a totally different team besides the Lakers. The playbook is out. If you let Luca do his thing and then deal with the other players, Luca teams don't really do well. So I just don't see LeBron wanting to truly play for the LA Lakers. I'm very confused by it.
Okay. So I mean the whole like opting in thing blew my
Right.
mind. Because you remember a couple years ago, um, he wanted to kind of see what they were going to do with the money that he was going to save, and then he talked about Clay Thompson and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
he was like, "Nope, now I'm taking all the money, give it all back." And it was like,
Right.
okay, well, what do we say there? Then now this one blew my mind. All right. I heard this, and I'll give the four letter network, I'll give their just due. I heard Brian Windhorst, the LeBron right hand man.
Oh
He
yeah.
said LeBron has done these 1 year deals with the player option 8 different times.
Yes.
This is the first time he is actually opted in to that player option. Bananas, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do then?
Yeah, I mean, to me, Brian Windhorst reminds me of Lord Varys in Game of Thrones to Daenerys Targaryen, whereas Daenerys is clearly LeBron James. If somebody can like AI generate that image with LeBron as Daenerys and Lord Varys as Brian Windhorst, it'd be fantastic. But
Right.
that said, I like the 1 year deals that LeBron has done in the past. This opting in thing to me just doesn't make sense. This is a guy who's pretty much halfway to being a billionaire, at least just from what he's made in the NBA. It's pretty wild. I just I don't get it. I don't get why he would want to opt in with the Lakers when clearly to me, he clearly has a market. You clearly have a market. There are better teams out there that are competing to win a championship. There is just
Right.
no way that you're going to win a championship with the Lakers. And regardless of the free agents that are out there, they can't really bring in guys to me that are going to be all that impactful to win it all. I just don't see it on this team. I see LeBron being elsewhere and having a much better impact because he's going to have to be more of a secondary impact. And to me, Luca's good, but he's not really like your stone cold killer that's going to win you a championship. He's got to be complementary to someone else. The way he was working in Dallas with Kyrie was working. They just didn't have any other real scoring potential surrounding them. Klay Thompson was kind of getting into the rhythm of things. It just didn't really work quite right. I just feel now you don't have any of that besides LeBron in LA. Like, I'll be honest, I see more potential out of the Clippers at this point than I do out of the Lakers
Did
with
you say
Luca.
the basement team?
Yeah, the team that has a logo that looks like they're a cruise line. If you want to book a cruise line with them and take a really nice trip down the coastline, maybe down to San Diego, book it with Steve Ballmer and your local Clipper agent. That's
Are
no
you
debate.
saying banana boat? Yeah, it's no
Um,
debate. Uh,
Absolutely.
so all right. So I saw a couple of posts and I put together some ideas, and then I started to think, okay, at some point, someone out here has got to get it in. So I'm actually going to shout out Bleacher Report on this one. All right,
Okay.
they gave us top 5 LeBron trade ideas, and some of them hit me right here where I was like, you don't get my heart. Obviously,
Okay.
you get like, the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's no heart on the other side. You're just cold as ice.
yeah, no. Because, Giannis and they got to give them all that. But
Yeah.
on a random note, so the first one that we got is Golden State. They would trade out the guy they just got with Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat back in a couple of years ago, playoff Jimmy. They're going to give him away with Quentin Post to make the money match for LeBron James. So LeBron gets to hang out with his boy D Green and Steph Curry. Him and Steph Curry got together in the Olympics, and I mean, torched everybody. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you still hold on to Brandon Podzinski, a local kid, we gotta keep pods. Um, it's good. I mean, there's still who's the other guy? He's kind of a center, kind of a forward. Blanking on the name. He's been there
Minga?
for Kaminga. Yeah, as long as Kaminga's there, you have pods, you have Green, you have LeBron, and you have Steph.
Wait,
Ben-
and Buddy Hield. Don't
and Buddy
forget Buddy
Hield.
Hield. He's a
And Buddy,
shooter.
nice. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a good mix. We're looking at 6 players there. If you can figure out that back end of those final two, probably another big guy, and another shooter, possibly. I think that could definitely work. I could see
All
it.
right. Okay. What if LeBron does it for the city? Goes back to Cleveland. Now this one kind of I mean, I think the Lakers would win at this trade. Darius Garland, which
Yep.
I mean, Cleveland did a lot of their damage without him later on.
Right.
Uh, DeAndre Hunter, who is a stud
Yeah.
in a trade a little later in the season, and then Jared Allen for LeBron. So you'd pair LeBron with Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell.
Hmm.
I like it. That's a team too that, to be honest, like they really got a nice pace of play. It's a very solid team, very well built. Considering they've done a massive turnaround since LeBron left. Mad props to that franchise, that ownership. They're doing a great job with Cavaliers. I could see that. I could definitely see it. I mean, I can see too where you think that LA is kind of winning that trade to a degree. They are. Cleveland does have the depth, but they do need something to take them to that next level and have more of an inside presence. I just felt Cleveland. Once they got to the playoffs, I just felt they were soft, man. They don't have that dominating force. And Mitchell's an awesome player, phenomenal guard, but it's kind of that Luka Doncic fast factor that he just does his thing, scores a bunch of points, and then you have nothing else complimentary to really go along with Mitchell. And they need more inside presence. LeBron gives you kind of that blend of all three phases. He gives you the inside, the mid range, and the shooting. You need that. So I think LeBron would definitely be a solid piece to that. And I heard that on the Four Letter Network as well. Cleveland to me definitely makes sense.
Right. And Hunter, Jared Allen, and Garland paired up with Luca. I mean, that's a bunch of young dudes all together. Like the Lakers literally are looking for a center. So I
Right.
mean, can't do much worse than or much better than Jared Allen, I should say. Um,
Absolutely.
all right. Now this is where if you're new here, this is tinfoil hat.
Oh
So
man, yeah. Okay. So guaranteed by the time I'm here next week, I'm gonna take one of my hats and I'm gonna turn it into a tinfoil hat. And it's not gonna be like cone head, like spaceman, like Twilight Zone black and white picture tinfoil hat. No, it's gonna be fresh. It's gonna be flat brim baseball cap, all tinfoil, fresh.
all right. Our boy Metrics here literally said about a week or so ago that maybe LeBron goes to the Dallas Mavericks. How about
Perfect.
Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, Caleb Martin, and a pick? Now, mind you, all those dudes I named, I mean, they're no LeBron. So
They're not. They're
you
not.
put
Yeah, I
whew,
mean Gafford is like your big piece. That's your big time heavy hitter that like he needs to. They really have to bank that Anthony Davis stays healthy because if Davis isn't on the court, then Gafford's really like your guy. He's like your heavy hitter inside. You need that, but it is going to cost you something to get LeBron. So that's the one name that I really care about. The other three, I can live with. There's still plenty of other depth on Dallas, and the trick to Dallas is that they basically need to get in. Once they get in, they will have their guys. They will be healthy. They'll be ready to go. They'll make it happen. But will they be the top team in the West throughout the regular season? They won't be. But and that's the thing too is LeBron's going to take time off. He's going to condition himself. He's going to pace himself so that come playoff time, they're a go. They're ready. They're going to be everything is going to be like all the training wheels are off and it's go time. And that is the tinfoil hat theory here. To me, that makes the most sense. He's going to have a ton of money. I don't know how if he keeps does he keep if he goes to another team, does he keep this like 51 or 52 million
yeah,
dollar deal? He
yeah,
does.
he's already sent it into the league office like
Okay.
it's set. So that a lot of these trades, if you're listening at home or on the radio or wherever you are,
Yep.
a lot of these matching salaries are going to get a little ridiculous. So the first one being the Jimmy Butler deal.
Sure.
Obviously, Jimmy Butler makes a buttload of money. That's why it was hard to move him in the first place. They had to get rid of Wiggins and
Yes.
other pieces. And
Yep.
then I told you about Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Gar. Like you're giving up some studs right there.
Yes.
And then with this deal, you're giving up like 4 or 5 different players, but you're pairing him with Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, two of
Clay
his best,
Thompson.
like
Clay
Clay
Thompson
Thompson and Coop,
and Cooper Flag.
the flag man. But like two of those guys already won championships with LeBron. So
Yes.
you
People
can
for
literally, if you have a 5-man unit like that, you could throw anybody out there on the bench and
absolutely.
minimum deals galore. And plus, we didn't talk about Derek Lively. Like
Yep.
he's a stud. He can hold it down until AD comes back. Clay Thompson, Coop, LeBron, and Lively, and
That's
then
a team.
maybe LeBron goes, "Hey CP3, I know you need a spot. You trying to come play?" Like
Absolutely.
you could put any point guard that's got some good like values and backbone and a little bit of defense. Those other 4 guys are there like Klay Thompson's not lockdown Klay anymore, but he can
Yep.
still play D. Coop, we don't know yet. LeBron can still play some D. Derek Lively is a defender. Oh, and like you said, once the playoffs start, now you got Kyrie and Anthony Davis coming back. Like,
Yeah.
what? That's
And
7 right there. Like,
right.
all you
And
need is one more.
yeah, and the thing is too, I think the big reason too that we see that like the NBA is so top heavy out west compared to the East. Again, ultimately, this comes down to what I've spoken about the NFL and the AFC South. This totally comes down to taxes. Your teams out west, unless it's Minnesota and California basketball teams, virtually have very little state income tax. And what do you know? You got 3 teams in the state of Texas, no state income tax. So if you're playing with those guys, you are not having any taxes coming out of your home games that you play on those courts, or if you go to San Antonio or Houston, even more mind
Boom.
boggling. And how excited do you think Kevin Durant is going to Houston, knowing he's on a good basketball team, knowing that he's on a team that is a coach that he's familiar with in Ime Udoka back in his time in Brooklyn? Again, Durant, no state income tax for all those
Oh,
games played in Houston. That's why I think the West is so dominant for those teams that play there, minus the California teams. But guys in California make a lot of money anyways. But I think LeBron is just dying to get to a team that's solid, but still make bank because ultimately LeBron does want to have as much money possible to be some kind of owner for a team in the future.
okay. Now I'm real tinfoil with you.
Oh, let's go. Let's
Tinfoil
go.
hat time. Uh, so you just told me about taxes and Texas, and so did you
Yes.
know the next team on the list was going to be the San Antonio Spurs? Did
Hey, I was rolling the dice thinking that, you know what, this is going to be another team. I've heard rumblings, whispers. I know the draft pick, the new guy that got drafted, got to talk to Victor Wembanyama, and seems like they're gelling there. But yeah, I mean, San Antonio's a solid team. I mean, you'd be playing along Chris Paul for the moment as it stands now.
maybe?
But San Antonio's solid, man, if that's where he wants to go.
Okay, so it's going to be Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and who was the other? And Keldon Johnson to
Okay,
make the money work. So
sure.
if you take those 3 guys off and you kind of listed there, Dylan Harper's the man, the names are boggling me. I believe Dylan Harper's the one that went to the Spurs, right? So
Mhm.
you're gonna have Stephon Castle if Chris Paul comes back. De'Aaron Fox, forgot all about him, didn't we?
Yep.
Then you got Wemby, LeBron. Like
That
you're
team's
kind of
loaded.
set. Now
Yeah.
think about that. Wembanyama's on a rookie deal. Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, rookie deals. You could get CP3 probably on some sort of minimum or,
Right.
mid-level exception maybe. Like there's going to
Oh,
be so much money to throw around. Plus De'Aaron Fox coming back, LeBron James there. Now you can maybe go out and get a Brooke Lopez or a
yes.
DeAndre Ayton who just got shunned again by another team, not only the Suns, but now the Trailblazers, who, not trying to be mean to Portland fans in our Pacific Northwest, but they're not very good. So if that team shuns
I
you,
bet.
you probably got an attitude or something. So now you get to go play with LeBron on a vet minimum. Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like a bad deal.
No, it doesn't. And the thing is too, I mean, it seems like Chauncey Billups wants to build something. What that is, I don't understand. Like if you have Drew Holiday, if you have DeAndre Ayton, you got some other young guys there. It seems like you could
Scoot
start to
Henderson.
start. Yeah, like you got Scooter Henderson there. It seems like you kind of got something going. And I'll be honest, I know people have kind of pointed out at some time the physical toughness of DeAndre Ayton. But to me, it seems like there was some kind of issue between him and I forgot the name of the head coach, the guy that got fired from Detroit. But it seemed like him and that coach in Phoenix just kind of bucked heads. When it comes to DeAndre Ayton as a player, though, when I see him out there doing stuff, I think he's actually a pretty solid player. I've seen his highlights in Portland. I remember how he played in Phoenix. I remember how he played in Arizona. The guy can flat out take control of the inside presence. DeAndre Ayton's a solid guy. I mean, he's not Anthony Davis, but DeAndre Ayton, and that, by the way, DeAndre Ayton is the guy that's kind of being talked about with the LA Lakers right now with the mix they got. Ayton is solid. He's not Anthony Davis, but he is a solid inside center that can actually shoot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. There's guys that get everything basically handed to him. I mean, he's number one overall pick. So like there's got to be something wrong. I think of guys like Michael Beasley, who is a walking bucket.
Yeah.
What number two, number three pick overall in Miami, and
Yep.
then he just bounced everywhere. He even had a stop here in Milwaukee, and it was just like,
At pot
man, a little bit maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Probably pot
Uh,
over.
and they all of a sudden you seen him playing Lance Stevenson in a 1-on-1 for like 100 G's or something. I don't know, but it was on
Nice.
pay-per-view. It was nuts.
That's
But I
cool.
mean, he's still a bucket, but
Yes.
that guy was
Yes, he is.
right out of the league. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why either. I mean, he's just trying to make an extra buck, just like the rest of us, and it is what it is.
Yeah. So the last team, and this one might be a shocker. So the New York Knicks send Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby, and that's
Yep,
it.
that's
Like
it.
maybe a
Yeah,
pick,
bring him in.
maybe a pick.
Yeah, and that's, to be honest, that's kind of that thing with the Knicks as well. Is like they like to have that toughness. Hardenstein is solid, but you'd also like to
Hardenstein's
have
not
someone
there.
who has the toughness. What?
He's in Hardenstein's in
Oh,
Oklahoma
my
City.
bad. My bad. Totally. Yeah. Totally. Wrong player, wrong city. My bad. But that's the thing is like ultimately with the Knicks, whoever they got playing inside is solid. But the biggest thing with the Knicks is they lack that pace of play. They lack that tempo. LeBron gives you that tempo, and
Dude,
he can kind of court martial his way to make sure that that offense is rolling. And when you're in a conference that has Cleveland and Indiana, you're going to have to run the court. Even Detroit's kind of a fast paced kind of team. Like you have to run the court with these guys. It's the only way you're going to, excuse me, you're going to get yourself over that hump. To be honest, we don't have to worry about Boston. They've basically put up the white flag for this upcoming season. That was another team that I kind of like that can do that pace of play, but they took themselves out of it. And Indiana, I mean, they're going to miss Halliburton, but they'll still be a team that's kind of feisty. But that's the thing is you're going to need some way somehow to push that tempo and that pace of play. That was the biggest thing that the Knicks lacked, along with not really having much bench production.
right. But a team built around Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, LeBron,
Yep.
and Carl Anthony Towns in the East is not a bad look. Not a bad
Yeah,
look at
that's a
all.
solid
And all
team,
you got
man.
to give up is OG. I mean, OG's a defender, but in the playoffs, he kind of didn't even know he was there. You still got Josh Hart too, so that's a solid look. But yeah, which one do you
Yeah.
think is the most realistic?
To me, the one that is most realistic, now that we kind of talked about it, I like the Knicks one. I also like the Dallas one, obviously. And speaking of Dallas,
Uh
you can
oh.
pretty much hit up any place that has legalized sports betting. If you want to do unlegalized, our guy Malik Beasley, he's the guy you're gonna want to talk to. But
Oh,
yeah, I mean, hey, just fair game. I mean, the guy knows he knows what he's doing. There's nothing, there's no proof. It's all allegedly. So yeah, but I would put that money down on Dallas. You can get them for like I think it's plus 3,300 odds of winning the championship, which I went with. So I put down a $5 bet that pays out $205. So literally, you could put down a $25 bet to win like 1,000 if you wanted to at this point. Now you got to do it at this point before they get LeBron. If they get LeBron, those odds, just like we saw with the Houston Rockets, those odds will plummet the moment you bring in a big name like that. And there's going to be some big names moving around. I can definitely promise you that. But I don't think LeBron is going to stay in LA, man. I for some reason somehow that money he signed that to make sure it stays. But I think you're along the lines that he's going to waive this no trade clause to figure out some way somehow to get away from this team. If the Lakers don't end up bringing enough firepower in to win this season, he's in it to win championships. He really is. He made sure that his son got paid. That's fair. JJ Redick's doing his thing with the Lakers. I think they're going to be all right. They may not be as dominant in winning championships for the near future, but do they have a strong program in place, a strong coach, a good direction? You have Luca. They got all that. So they'll be
Right.
in a nice spot. But LeBron is in the way of chasing championships, and he wants to win another one. So something I saw last weekend, outside the hours that we were live last week, and this kind of blew my mind. And this is to me where the debate between LeBron being the GOAT and Jordan being the GOAT to me is like just sealed shut. To me, it is clearly obvious. And it's pretty interesting because outside the Kobe and Shaq years, basically you have the dynasty of LeBron and then you have the dynasty of Michael Jordan. And I give LeBron a lot of credit for being what in 9 out of 10 straight NBA finals. That's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. However, Michael Jordan did back while he has two three-peat dynasties with a 2 year gap in between. To be honest, it's under the rug, but the guy is just competitive as it gets and likes to gamble. So did they find a way to get him out of the league, go play baseball, and kind of make it look like everything's all hush hush, happy happy? Hey, tinfoil hat time. Let's bring it back,
Got a
man.
lot
We
of
are ready.
tinfoil hats today.
Tinfoil hats. Hey, we're on the third tinfoil hat of the show. But that said, if he does not get suspended, you're talking Michael Jordan is probably winning those two in the middle. Houston's a great team during that stretch, though, too. Maybe you win one, maybe you don't win the other. That's a fair argument. So right there, you're looking at 7. And then I had no idea that basically the dynasty of the Bulls was just broken up by Jerry Reinsdorf. He basically just said, "That's it, we're done. I'm doing my thing. I'm moving players around." That's mind-boggling because they would have easily figured out these 1 year deals for the guys on the team. Pippen would have been a tough one to sign, but that would take some convincing. They would have figured it out. They'd probably get it done. I think at that point, you're probably winning another one or two after that. So you're talking a stretch where the Bulls could have won NBA Finals probably 8 out of 9 or 10 years. Not
In
only
the
did Michael
90s.
Jordan, yeah, not only did he get there and win against some really tough people, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, the Portland Trailblazers at the start, um, like going through the Pistons, like the guy went through some pretty heavy hitters, did it all on one team, and he won NBA Finals. I love what LeBron did going to 9 out of 10, but he didn't win all those finals. He won like what, maybe four out of the 9. So it is 4 out of 9. It's incredibly impressive getting to that stretch. But you're talking about a guy like Michael Jordan who went 6-0 and probably could have gone 8-1, to be honest, if things didn't get weird and didn't happen the way they were. But I mean, you remember it. I remember it. I just remember that time growing up, Michael and those Bulls were like invincible. I mean, they're. I've never really felt anything like it besides maybe Tom Brady and the Patriots to just invincibility. Like that is just different. It's just a different feel. It's not just power. It's straight up invincibility.
I'm not going to get in the GOAT debate. I mean, you know,
I like them both.
I agree. I mean, it's there's nothing wrong with being in the top 5. And the problem with the GOAT debate is like one side thinks you're calling the other guy the worst player of all time.
Oh
Like,
heck no,
all
no
right,
way,
all
man.
right. I'm about to take a shot at somebody. He's gonna get a stray bullet.
Uh oh.
Nobody's calling LeBron or Jordan Kevin Ollie. Like it's not happening. We're
Okay.
we're we're calling them like the next in line of goatness, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
to
I
me, I
mean,
got them 1 and 2, flat out.
yeah, I mean,
That's
I
it.
can't argue. I mean, I can't argue with that, but
Okay, that's
there's
fair.
there's reason. I mean, you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that people just throw away like he was nobody.
No,
The
he's
dude
pretty solid
literally
too.
won every single like chip. Like he didn't lose a game in high school or college. Like he was almost it was ridiculous. Um,
Absolutely.
like, and then he just comes in. He's like, "Yeah, I'll get the Bucks a championship. Yeah, I'll
Yep.
get the Lakers a championship.
Yep.
Okay, I got all these MVPs, all these All Stars, like the leading scorer." And I was actually just looking
Yes.
this up the other day. The dude was only missing like a game, like 5 games every like 5 years. It was nuts. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
I think in his
crazy.
like second to last season, he played all 82. It just bananas. But we forget all about that guy. Tim
Yeah.
Duncan's up there as one of the greatest power forwards of all time. He's
Yep.
got five, right?
I
So
can't even tell you how many games I watched as a Bucks fan growing up and thinking, you know what? I think we're going to beat the Spurs, and we go into halftime, we're up 20, and then we lost every single one of those games.
hey, there's goats all over the place. I mean,
Yep.
like we're not even we're leaving out Magic. He's got a handful. Bird, like he's got a handful. Like there's so many different goats and
Yes.
different levels of goat.
Right.
I mean, we leave out Stephen Curry all the time, and that dude. I mean, I'll steal a line, but he's the greatest shooter ever. The guy is
Yeah.
he changed the
Absolutely.
way basketball is played
He did.
right now.
He
Um,
absolutely did. Yep.
he's got a handful, like,
Yep.
and he stopped LeBron from getting more. So like that
Yes, he did.
deserves some credit. Um,
Absolutely.
then
Absolutely.
then you add on like a guy like wow, I just blanked.
Uh-oh.
A guy like Kobe, like
Kobe
didn't even
Bryant
talk Kobe yet, didn't
and
even talk
Shaq.
Shaq yet. Like
Yes.
they got handfuls too. Like,
Yeah, it's
hey,
very interesting seeing that. Like when I saw the Last Dance, I pulled up Wikipedia, and you see these dynasties transition at basically the exact moments in time. You see the Bulls into the Rockets, into the Bulls again. Then you see the beginning of the Lakers. You have the Spurs, and then you have the Spurs mixed in between the Lakers and the beginning of LeBron. And then from that point forward, it's LeBron, and then it's Steph, and now we're at the point where it's a mix.
yeah, and like that, and the other part about that is like we talk about Jordan, but no one ever talks about Scottie Pippen,
Oh,
right?
he's amazing,
Like
man.
where's Scottie Pippen in there? He's got a bunch of all defensives, a bunch of
Yes,
all NBAs, a bunch of all stars. Oh yeah, he's also got 6 rings. Like
he sure
what
does.
what are we talking about? Like I don't
Right,
know. It's just like because Jordan carried the team so much. I mean, they were a playoff team when Jordan left. So
right.
it,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just so much of that going around where a lot of the time when you're the number two, you don't really get that respect anyway. So
totally.
like when Kareem was the number two to Magic, those were Magic's teams. Originally they were Kareem's teams. That like,
Right.
you know, a McHale or a Parrish or guys like that sit behind Larry Bird, even though, they did some damage too. Like you can go through the history of the game and that's what happens.
Right.
Like Kobe was technically behind Shaq. It was
Yes, he
Shaq's
was.
team. And then
Yep.
Kobe got so incensed when Shaq left that he needed to win that other ring with Pau Gasol, or there would have been a whole like hater of was Kobe just carried by Shaq kind of thing. Even though he was putting up 30 a game, but still
Yeah.
there was times in that era, and some people may forget this, like people were talking about Tracy McGrady was the best shooting guard in the league. Just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Like T Mac was pretty awesome, a heck of a shooter. He brought the Magic to that NBA Finals. Yeah, T Mac was pretty cool, man.
Yeah. There's guys all over the building, all over the place that like
And
does it
Durant's like in
automatically
this mix as well.
yeah. Does it automatically say Dwight Howard and Allen Iverson don't mean anything? Does it automatically say like,
Yes.
Tracy McGrady, who's a Hall of Famer, and Carmelo Anthony don't mean anything, or Patrick Ewing and Reggie Miller,
Oh,
like
totally.
Charles Barkley and Karl Malone.
Yeah.
John Stockton still has one of the most unbreakable records of all time.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
the dude is the leader in steals and assists. Guess what? If you're a point guard, you literally are trying to get steals and assists. That's it.
Exactly. Yep.
Points are good and all, but like that record will never be broken. Like just
Absolutely.
so many different things, man. And like
Yeah.
just because you don't have enough rings means you can't be in the top 10, top five. Like I get it. It's a winning sport, but who knows?
Yeah, I just feel at this point that LeBron has jumped teams so much that it's not about finishing your career as a Laker. You went to the
No.
Lakers, you won a championship, that's great. But I think it's kind of going out on a high note, and I think he's got real opportunity to legitimately win a championship this season if he's not on the LA Lakers. If he's on the Lakers, it's not happening. But if he does figure out a way to get to one of these other teams, I think it is very much possible.
And and I mean, even think about it. What would be a really cool story? Maybe going back to Cleveland and getting another one? Or how about going to New York, who hasn't won since, you know, like the 70s, I believe?
Oh,
Like
it's
it's
before our
been
lifetimes.
so long ago.
Yep.
And they've had the Bernard Kings and the Patrick Ewings and the Carmelos and the Amari Stoudemires, the Jalen Brunsons now. Like, if LeBron went there and won a championship, not
Right.
only would ESPN probably explode,
They love
but
it.
like, you're right, that the whole NBA would be like, oh, this is what we wanted. We did this. And like,
Yeah.
it,
The New,
why not?
yeah,
Why
the
not?
New York crowd is crazy, and it's crazy cool. Like that though, whenever a professional sport has, to me, a dominant East Coast or dominant metropolitan city that has a team like the Chicago Bulls or LA, especially whether when it comes to baseball or basketball or whatever. Even in Florida, what's going on with hockey, whether it's the Florida Panthers or the Tampa Bay Lightning, when you got something out east and it's a big city, it's just different. Looking at the Philadelphia Eagles winning in football, looking at what's going on with how the New York Knicks, and even before then, Brooklyn kind of had that cool thing. And then even going cross border lines into Toronto when you had Jurassic Park, that was just crazy when it was Kawhi Leonard up there and Pascal Siakam. Like you had something really really cool going on when it's out east. That eastern crowd, and we had it too in Milwaukee when we were in the championship. You just kind of get something different when you're in the city and you're kind of out east. And I think the Knicks would benefit greatly from being at the top and most dominant. I think right now that is definitely the team that is most likely to win the East. And how ironic they don't even have a head coach.
So breaking news.
Sure.
We need a breaking news button or something,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
We I just brought up a name and now it's a little disappointing.
Sure.
The Lakers actually just signed Brooke Lopez. I want to say it was 2 years and 18 million is what I saw.
Okay.
He's 37 years old, so I mean, hey, that's a pretty lifelong deal,
Yeah.
right there. Probably the rest of his career is
Yep.
probably there and over with.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, kind of bittersweet.
Yeah.
And then there's been some other small deals. Nikhil Alexander Walker just left Minnesota,
Sure.
and he's doing a sign and trade going to Atlanta. Atlanta's putting together a squad. I mean, Porzingis, Nikhil
Yeah.
Alexander Walker, Trey Young, and Jalen Johnson. Man, whew,
Yeah.
it
So I like I do in the NFL where I bet my divisional teams, and knowing that I already placed my bet on Dallas, I did this with the NBA, and next week we'll have to go through it. Oh man, like I kind of regret. I totally took a gamble on that division, and I went with Miami. I just went with Heat culture, and I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, Atlanta's got a pretty good squad that they're putting together down there. And if I recall, too, aren't they coached by what's his name? That really good coach who was coaching the Utah Jazz.
oh man. Uh,
Kind of a younger
I'm
guy.
completely blanking. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
not very good at coaches off the top of my head.
Right, right. But if that's the case, because I realized after I came back from the casino and looked at it, I was like, all right, cool. That division was a flyer, anyways. But I was kicking around Atlanta. I was kicking around Miami. I saw higher odds on Miami. I'm like, whatever, it's the Heat. They can attract free agents. I like that kind of thing. But you're right. Atlanta is making the moves, and Porzingis is a solid inside player. Man, he when he's out there, he's solid. He's had some rough injury history as of late, but if they can get it, and the thing was, I completely blanked on the head coach of the Hawks. I just totally forgot, and then it was basically like yesterday. I realized, oh man, I think they're coached by that guy from the Jazz. And that Utah Jazz head coach was actually really solid, man. I mean, back when it was Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Jay Crowder in Utah. I saw that
Jingles,
team. Yeah,
jingles.
yep, exactly. I saw that team play in Milwaukee at the Forum. We won that game, man. But I'm telling you, man, that team was tough. And if he can basically bring that kind of culture and build, and by the looks of it, kind of sounds like it's shaping up to be that. The Hawks are going to be a playoff team next year, and I think I screwed up that division.
So speaking of big men from Boston, Luke Cornett got paid 4 years, 41 million, and he's with the Spurs. What?
Okay. There you go. Yeah, I mean, San Antonio trying to get more big guys inside, just in the event that Wembanyama is not out there all the time. I think it makes sense, and you definitely had some health scare with Wembanyama this past season, so they know that that's what they need to build.
This one's kind of weird. Dennis Schroeder went to Sacramento, and hey, Milwaukee guy Kayvon Looney is going to New Orleans.
Mm. I mean, good food
Yeah,
down there. I'll tell you that it's a great city for professional sports, great city for college sports. Just really cool entertainment city, straight up. But the Pelicans are rough, man.
yeah.
It is really downhill. They've completely whiffed on Zion Williamson, and it's just not working.
I
It's
mean,
really not working with this team, man. It sucks because it really should have become something good, but it's just not happening.
they went out and got Jordan Poole. I mean, how low can you get?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Jake LaRavia, which most people probably don't even know, uh, he's a big going to the Lakers. D'Angelo Russell's going to Dallas, so that's kind of cool.
Oh,
Yep.
oh
Uh,
my! I like that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
of all the ones you've mentioned, D'Angelo Russell to Dallas. That's a thing, man. That's a guy who could kind of hold down the fort until Kyrie's ready in February. But even then, still be very instrumental going in and out of that starting lineup.
I'm about to hit you with one that I thought is a winning move. Uh, DFS Dorian Finney-Smith is
Okay.
going to the Rockets.
Yeah. Like, I mean, my gut is telling me that it is either going to be Dallas or Houston in the NBA Finals. I'm sticking to that. I love the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're a really cool team, but they are horrendously coached. And we're talking like the NBA. I kid you not. The NBA has a ton of really good coaches. Even the New Orleans Pelicans, who we just bashed and said they're not a good basketball team. Even they have kind of a nice head coach. I'll be honest. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder have one of the worst coaches in the NBA, and they're clearly able to persevere through that bad coaching. This past postseason, I mean, if someone can kind of tell me more than what they played, but they clearly played at least four more games in this postseason than they should have played. They should have beaten the Pacers in 5 games, right? So we'll give Indiana game three straight up. They should have they absolutely were going to win game three. No stopping that. That's in Indy. It is what it is. But game one, that's where they screwed this up. Game one, they had it in the bag, and then they just let it fall to the wayside. You lose game three. Okay, now we got 2 games that India has, and now Indiana wins that 6th game. Now we have to play a game 7. These are 2 extra games that you're giving to Indiana from them outright winning game 6 and then giving them game 1 that takes that series further than what it had to be. And then you go 2 series before that, and they did the exact same thing with the Denver Nuggets. This is just bad coaching at its purest form in a league, to me, that has way better head coaches in the NBA than it does the NFL, and you still have this weird stuff happening. I think it's either going to be bad coaching or injuries or both are going to do in the Oklahoma City Thunder next season. And on top of that, you have like basically every team is a new team winning the last 7 NBA finals. I just think this team coming out of the West, and there's other weird teams like a Minnesota, and who else you think? Maybe the Spurs start to come into play. I just think there's so much weird toughness in the West. I don't think Oklahoma City is going to do it again. But it's not to say that they don't have the guys. And I mean, to me, Shea is the best player in the league. I love seeing what they got there. But like, I just don't think things are going to go completely right. And when you have a horrendous head coach, that's going to eventually come to the light.
Hey, that's no debate. Boom.
That's no debate.
Put one in there. Put one in there.
Absolutely.
I got something I want to debate with you.
Okay.
We're gonna switch sports. All right.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Okay. Because I don't know how I feel about this because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
Can you explain to me why Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and a 7th-round pick got Minka Fitzpatrick and a 5th-round pick?
So I am telling you that this deal was made by the Pittsburgh Steelers to make the Pittsburgh Steelers the worst possible football team in the National Football League so they can unload all of these players and all of this cash and Aaron Rodgers in the next season so they can start completely fresh. It is clear as day when you make a garbage move like this that your owner and your head coach and your GM are all on the same page and realize we have spent too many years post Ben Roethlisberger treading water and we're not moving in either direction. And I don't know, I think it's been about an 8-year drought since they've won a playoff game. They need to restart. They need to restart the deck. They're going to have to move off of TJ Watt. They're going to have to move off of Minka Fitzpatrick, which they did. They're going to start fresh at quarterback. They basically, they're going to have to start fresh almost everywhere. They let the left tackle go to Tennessee. Everything is going to start fresh. They're probably clearly going to be upset at Arthur Smith. I didn't think he did all that great of a job last. I mean, I don't know. It was kind of mixed. I did have Pittsburgh being a playoff team last season when everyone else wanted to bash them and say that they're trash and they're terrible. And now all of a sudden now they make all these bad moves and everyone says they're the greatest thing since sliced bread and they're going to make the playoffs. And oh man, this trade today, now Aaron Rodgers is going to win a Super Bowl, like all this great stuff. I kid you not. All of these players in this deal were made so the Steelers can be the worst possible team and make it so they can start fresh. And like, are like, is Arch Manning not going to want to play for like one of the most legendary football teams in NFL history by the Steelers? Also, next year, what do you know? Team that could have the first overall pick is hosting the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Flat out tells me that the fix is in, the chess pieces are in play. Oh, here we go, man. I'm sorry, guys. I have to get this tinfoil hat ready. I have to bring it because clearly I should have already worn it 4 to 5 times already this episode. That's debate. I get it, but the
Total debate.
Steelers, yeah, the Steelers to me are clearly going to be pure trash. Check out our last episode, or it might be the one before that. We have laid out the Steelers are going to win like 3 football games at best. They're going to lose every game in their division. Even as good as they were last season, they still split with the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are kind of an interesting team. They're going to have a good defense, although The guy we all thought was going to play defense on that team is not going to play defense on that team because for whatever reason Cleveland traded out of possibly having Abdul Carter and did some weird trade that really did nothing, ended up being Dylan Gabriel. But even Cleveland is going to still have a good defense, and they actually have some pieces on offense. They like it's weird. For as weird as they are on offense and quarterback situation, listen to this. You have I think it's his name's Cedric Tillman, something like that. But he's been a second year rookie, kind of had some injury history, but when he plays, that kid can ball. That guy can flat out play. You got him. You got Jerry Judy, and he's kind of a head case, but I kid you not, this guy can separate like no other. You got Deontay Johnson. Those are three solid wide receivers there. You got David Njoku, and we're gonna have to talk about it in a future episode, especially when we get more deep with fantasy. But they have an interesting new running back core that is taking over post Nick Chubb, post Jerome Ford. They got some stuff there. Stefanski, I mean, 2 years ago, coach of the year. The guy can coach his tail off when it comes to offense. Survived 3 coaching regime changes in Minnesota. The guy knows what it takes on offense. He's going to have the best offense out there that he can actually put together as a team. The Browns are going to sweep the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like
Wait a minute. All right. Okay.
they're
No.
going to
Time
sweep
out.
the Steelers.
Time out. All right. I got your backs, Pittsburgh. Look here. So we got Aaron Rodgers chucking the ball all across the yard. Jalen Warren, really solid running back coming in. DK Metcalf, Robert Woods, and Calvin Austin the third. Plus Scotty Miller, who won with Tom Brady, beat up the Packers in the NFC title game there.
Yep.
Then the best tight end core in the NFL, bar none. Pat Fryermuth, Jonnu Smith. I don't know why they got another tight end, and our big fella Darnell Washington from Georgia.
Georgia.
You know it. That's an offense that can give you some firepower. Aaron Rodgers loves to play 12 personnel. He loves his tight ends. Now you
He's
got
going 13 personnel.
Hey, we're going to go 13 personnel if you got to. Down on the goal line, who's going to stop Darnell Washington from getting down? He's 6'7", 250, maybe 270 at this point.
Yeah, he's
Now,
270.
not only do these guys have good hands, Jonnu Smith's got some speed. Pat Fryermuth comes across the middle, catches everything, right?
Yes.
Now,
made Kenny Pickett look good.
Hey, think about that. Made Kenny Pickett look good. We got Aaron Rodgers over here chucking the football. DK Metcalf down the sideline, and all of these tight ends across the middle. I don't care about Robert Woods or Scotty Miller or Calvin Austin, but DK Metcalf down the sideline, plus Jalen Warren. Hey, you might have a great offense out there in Pittsburgh, and we got your back, Pittsburgh. All right, Metrics doesn't, but that was decent?
No. Yeah, I
I tried.
don't have a problem with bringing in those guys. The biggest problem I have is your left tackle is gone. Like I don't know about this other guy. There might be some belief in him, but man, that's a bad missing piece. To me, it just tells you Darnell Washington's going to have to be out there for every play. He's basically going to have to be a left tackle at this point.
Hey.
I think that's going to have to happen. He's like the Jordan Mailata in the other Pennsylvania town in the NFL. Oh, and by the way, hot take, tinfoil hat. Jordan Mailata, MVP of the NFL. Like flat out, man. Like I think Jordan Mailata is the best player in the entire league. Flat out. Guy protects Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley does everything he does because of Jordan Mailata. Like guy's amazing.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Famer. Guy transferred from playing rugby, basically being a running back rugby kind of player, and just became an offensive lineman and just became a monster. Awesome. But that said, you're gonna need that. I think you're definitely going to see bucking of heads between Rodgers and Arthur Smith. Smith wants motion. Smith wants play action. And then to me, what's even worse after that, I hate them getting rid of George Pickens. I really don't like that. I mean, George Pickens could kind of feel how that offense was working. And I remember last year, too, George Pickens was so bummed out that they didn't get Devontae Adams. To me, DK Metcalf kind of fills that void of not getting Devontae Adams. And then you would have had DK plus Pickens. Pickens is really the guy that stretches the field. Pickens downfield can just do really insane things, do some crazy catches, catches that are very low likelihood of being caught. He can catch, and DK Metcalf pretty much just runs a straight line. He doesn't really run routes. He just runs straight. That's all
Yeah.
he does. He is very good. I do like the progression that I've seen him grow over the last few seasons, but ultimately, like your game changer, your defensive killer is George Pickens. He's gone. And then Jalen Warren is a bruiser. He's a bowling ball back. To me, he's like Maurice Jones-Drew. That's when I watch him play, I'm like, that's Maurice Jones-Drew. However, he's not really a pass catching back. Najee Harris was that pass catching back that they needed. Warren is better than Najee Harris, straight up. However, when it comes to plays where you need to have that tailback, that guy that can run or catch, then you need Najee Harris. I don't think this new guy from Iowa can do that. I think the new guy from Iowa is more of a Jalen Warren kind of style. So I feel like in order to benefit from bringing in Rodgers, you needed those other pieces in place. You needed a tailback. You needed a deep route running threat in Pickens. And then you needed a pass catching, you need a left tackle as well. So them losing those three pieces to me are just absolutely devastating.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I was just trying to give Pittsburgh some love. But
Yeah.
speaking of giving some love, before we head out of here,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but it was WNBA All Star Starters announced today.
Right.
All right. So we got Caitlin Clark and Nafisha Collier, who
Yep.
are going to be the top two vote getters. They're going to be the pickers, if you will, when they do the starter draft.
Yep.
Um, so out of the gate, obviously, Aaliyah Boston got a little bit of that Caitlin Clark love out of Indiana.
Sure.
Um, yeah, she's a really good player. I'm not gonna lie, I probably wouldn't have voted her in there. There's a couple other players that I thought about.
Yep.
Um, Paige Beckers. I mean, hey, that's a pretty big deal. Dallas Wings are not very good, but she came out of UConn, and people really know her. Number one overall
Absolutely.
pick.
Yep.
Um, and then Alicia Smith from Atlanta, the Dream.
Okay.
Uh, or I'm sorry, Alicia Gray.
Yeah.
I am totally blanked on that one. Uh, I feel bad now because I'm a big
Nah.
WNBA fan. But
Right.
then we got Brianna Stewart, Stewie, and Sabrina Ionescu from the Liberty. Seitu
Asia Wilson.
Sabali, Asia Wilson, yep, and then Neka Agumake all got in for the WNBA All Star game. But
Yep.
you know me, my favorite player in the dub is Kelsey Plum. She's the only top five scorer in the NBA or in the WNBA that did not get voted into the All Star game. Which I mean, she's
Oh
putting up
no.
right. Isn't that crazy? Now, no, don't get me wrong. She's gonna get on the bench, obviously. But it's just crazy to me. She's averaging 21, 6 and 3 with 1.5 steals. I mean, like
Yep.
how does she not get in there? Skylar Diggins Smith, that's where the Smith came in.
Yep.
Um, she's a hooper.
Yeah. And
Kelsey
I
Mitchell,
called this out too. Like I called out before the season started that the Vegas Aces would take a serious step back without having Kelsey Plum. The Aces are basically 500. Uh,
yeah,
they they need they really needed Kelsey Plum, and I was my mind was blown when they basically sent her away and she found her way to the LA Sparks. I think you're completely 100% correct. Kelsey Plum is definitely an all star, and it's clear as day how much firepower she took away from the Aces.
I I just lost.
It'd be like the Golden State Warriors saying, "All right, we're moving on from Steph Curry, and we still expect to be one of those top teams out west." It's just not
Hey,
happening.
our homie Arike Agumbawale
Yep.
probably deserves to get a spot in there.
Yes.
And like we have a lot of I mean Skylar Diggins, she's just dope. Doing her thing. If I'm not mistaken, she's playing in Seattle. off the
Sure.
top of my head
Yep.
with Nneka Ogwumike. So it's kind of weird that Nneka got in there, but maybe that was some love from her sister on the Four Letter Network. But
Sure.
yeah, Skylar's another one of
She's a
those.
great analyst, by the way, too.
She's amazing, actually, believe it or not. Skylar's averaging 19 and 6, and she didn't get any love. So I'm a little confused on how they did this. But I mean, Ryan Howard's going to be out there probably.
Yep.
Hamby's probably going to get some love. Kelsey Mitchell, big fan of hers. She's probably going to get a little bit of the rub. Um, Trying to think
Angel
who
Reese
else
is in
probably.
this, right?
Angel Reese is not yet. No. So,
Whoa.
which hey,
Whoa.
that's kind of weird to me. I'm not gonna lie, because we're talking about popularity votes here.
You need
Angel
him.
Reese is the number one rebounder in the league by
Yes.
far. She's the only person, and I know people are gonna say the me bounds and all that stupid stuff, but
Yeah.
um, she's shooting about 40% from the field, or
Yep.
41%. Asia Wilson's only shooting 44% from the field. So
Yeah.
Angel Reese has an actual higher 3-point percentage than Asia Wilson. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying, not
Yeah.
like everybody misses some shots here and there, and Asia Wilson's
Right.
a bona fide bucket. So like,
Yes.
Angel
They
Reese is
both
the
should be in.
only right. Angel Reese is the only person in the league right now averaging double digit rebounds. Asia
Yeah.
Wilson's right behind her at 9.9. But come
Yep.
on, like again, popularity contest. I don't understand why no one really got that vote to get her in there. But
Yeah.
hey, the list looks pretty good. Again, Aaliyah Boston, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Nafisha Collier, Alicia Gray, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Seitu Sabali, Nneka Ogwumike, and Sabrina Ionescu. Hey, that's going to be a fire All Star game. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Reese should be in there over Aaliyah Boston. That
I
is
agree.
that's the screw up right there. And the thing is too, like they need to figure this out. They need to figure out whatever it takes to crank those gears for popularity, right? We
Yeah.
want to put on the tinfoil hat every time we talk about Patrick Mahomes or even the LA Rams winning those Super Bowls, right? They need to crank that tinfoil hat to get Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in the limelight as much as possible. And they completely
Yep.
dropped the ball last summer. Granted, they won an Olympic gold, but they absolutely failed on viewership. And you should have had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese on that Olympic team. You absolutely
Yeah.
should have. You would have won a gold more than likely with both those players on somehow, some way. You should have found a way somehow to get them on that roster because viewership for women's basketball in the Olympics was terrible, absolutely
Hmm.
terrible. And even now, it seems like that viewership is still kind of so-so, but it's not as like blockbuster as it should be. I even heard the take put out there that they should have absolutely even done like pay-per-view. If you do pay-per-view for Caitlin Clark games, would have been bananas. Um, Whatever it takes to get Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese out there as much as possible, the All Star Weekend is the perfect time to do that. And even better, have them on conflicting teams. Somehow find a way to get the fix in. Kind of like we all know the Dallas Mavericks got the fix from losing to Luka Doncic. That's what the WNBA's got to take advantage of.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I mean, obviously she's going to get in there at least as a bench player and a couple of the other players. But like to
Right.
me, Kelsey Plum and Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina
Yep.
Ionescu,
Yep.
like those are your pillars of
Yes.
popularity. Sabrina
Yes.
Ionescu is clearly shooting threes with Steph
Steps.
Curry. Like, you know, that boosts that popularity.
Yep.
Nneka Ogwumike, her sister's on TV every day. So like
Yep.
she gets a boost in that popularity. Like
Yep.
they need
Crank
to
it.
start using that type of fuel for the flame. I mean, yeah, Aaliyah Boston's a great player, but she probably didn't need to be in an All Star game
No.
lineup.
No.
Paige
She doesn't
Beckers,
move the needle.
right? Paige Beckers, I understand, number one overall pick. You probably could have fit Kelsey Plum in right there. Like
Yeah.
I, I
I
love
like the
that some of
Beckers
these
play though. I
other.
think that moves the needle a little bit.
I do too, but the Dallas Wings are absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I'm they're at the bottom with the Chicago Sky and Connecticut Sun. So, like, I don't know. Uh, just mind blowing stuff.
Yeah, sneaky good WNBA news though. I did hear that basically they kind of got the paperwork moving for WNBA teams that are coming up that are going to be, I want to say Philadelphia, Detroit, and I think one other team I heard. I
Toronto.
believe next year is
Oh no,
Toronto.
Toronto's already in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But Toronto's in next season, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yep. So there's going to be three other teams coming down the pipeline after that. I think in 2027, Philadelphia and Detroit are two of those new cities. The third city, I don't know yet, but take a look. That news, I saw that news going along the scroll line today.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. There's rumblings about stuff going on in the NBA in Europe, but nothing as definitive as what I saw today, where you have legit three expansion franchises coming down the works for the WNBA in the very near future.
Hmm. What were the teams you heard?
Philadelphia and Detroit, and there's a third team that I can't remember.
The Cleveland Rockers.
Ah, Cleveland. Okay, so Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Detroit, East Coast cities, and again too. I mean, we see this across all of pro sports that you really want to have a good foothold out east. The Western United States is kind of seen more as expansion, but you have so many cities that are closer together out east that you definitely want to start planting that flag if you're the NBA as kind of let's say bigger cities out east. Like you just want to get those teams built because you know you have such a small travel proximity that in the end it's gonna work for growing the league, but it's also gonna help on logistics as well.
Yeah. Hey, I know we went a little bit over our normal hour time, but you can
Right.
always catch us back here Monday. What are we? We are like
7 o'clock
Central, maybe?
Central.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
messing.
Chicago
Uh,
time.
Chicago time. No, oh
DT.
no, no, boo! Don't you? No, take that back. We don't talk about Chicago.
Hey, I saw a
Jeez.
story on 60 Minutes or something CBS yesterday. Soul Spice opened up a restaurant in Chicago, Michigan Avenue, right across from Millennium Park. I know exactly where that is. Great food in Chicago. Super walkable city, great food. I know your boy DJ Triggs has his gripes about it, but man, he don't know the streets of Chi Town like your boy Steve Metrics knows.
I might actually get up and leave right now.
Oh,
But
that's bait.
again, how many? Do you got anything else on your mind, Mister Metrics, or should we peace on out of here?
Yeah, I think we're probably going to piece on out of here. Again, too, like I know your big time networks want to make some kind of big time story out of this Jalen Ramsey Steelers stuff. Doesn't matter. Jalen Ramsey's been washed since he lost the AFC Championship to Tom Brady and the Patriots. It is what it
Oh
is.
man,
Yeah,
shots fired.
shots fired, man. Like anyone with speed, it's gonna leave them in the dust. There's nothing. Mike McDaniel's Miami Dolphins. They're gonna be the worst team in the East. He's gonna get fired. It's gonna be a bad season for the Steelers. Bad season for the Dolphins. Dolphins guy is gonna lose his job. Steelers guy already knows the fix is in, and they're already rebuilding for the future. That's no debate.
Boom. You wanna call us out of here?
Oh yeah, let's call it a wrap. That's a show. Lots of tinfoil hat theory stuff. Next week I will have one. Will your boy DJ Triggs have a tinfoil hat? That's debate. But I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy,
DJ Triggs.
and that's no debate.